The scream tore out of him before he was even awake. Anakin sat up in the dark, his chest heaving, his hair soaked through. Beside him, May stirred but did not wake. He stared at her in the pale Coruscant moonlight, and for one terrible second he saw her again, pale, gasping, dying in his arms. He had seen this dream 100 times, but tonight something was wrong. The fear was too sharp, too clean. It did not feel like a warning from the Force. It felt like a blade slipped between his ribs, placed there on purpose. Anakin rose quietly and walked to the balcony. The skylanes of Coruscant glittered far below, endless and cold. He closed his eyes and reached into the Force, searching for the source of the nightmare. And there, buried deep beneath the fear, he felt it. A second presence, a whisper, a hand inside his mind. Someone was feeding him these visions. His jaw tightened. He thought of every dream he had ever shared, every fear he had ever spoken aloud, and one face rose to the surface, calm, kind, smiling. The Chancellor. No, Anakin whispered, it can't be. But the Force did not lie, not this time. He looked back at Padme sleeping peacefully alive, and he made a silent vow. He would not run to Palpatine for comfort. He would not beg for power to save her. He would hunt the truth himself. And if the Chancellor was the spider behind the web, then the Chosen One was coming for him. Dawn came slow over Coruscant. Anakin walked the marble halls of the Jedi Temple, his boots echoing softly. He had not slept. He had not told Padme. He carried his suspicion like a live thermal detonator. And he knew exactly where to take it first. Master Yoda sat alone in the meditation chamber. Eyes closed, small green hands folded. Trouble in your heart, I sense, Yoda said without opening his eyes. Anakin knelt. Master, I think someone is using the Force to send me visions. Dark ones, visions of death. Yoda's ears twitched. A Sith, this could be. Hidden among us, perhaps. Yes, Anakin said carefully. Hidden. In plain sight. He did not say the name. Not yet. If he was wrong, the Council would never trust him again. If he was right, the Sith Lord would feel the trap closing and vanish. Watch, you must, Yoda whispered. Speak, you must not. The shadow, reveal itself, it will. Anakin bowed. The hunt was sanctioned that afternoon. He walked into the Chancellor's office wearing the same easy smile he always did. Palpatine rose to greet him, warm as ever. My boy, you look tired. More dreams. Anakin met his eyes, and for the first time, he looked. He felt the Force ripple, just slightly, around the old man. A cold current beneath warm water, a shadow behind a friendly face. No, Chancellor, Anakin lied softly. I slept like a stone. Palpatine's smile did not move, but something behind his eyes did. A flicker, a pause. And in that single heartbeat, the spider felt the fly stop struggling. The game had changed, and neither man knew yet. The other was already hunting. The opera house glowed like a dream. Blue water dancers spun in the air. Music drifted through the private box where the Chancellor of the Republic sat in his red robes, calm and patient as a stone. Anakin took the seat beside him, hiding every thought behind a soldier's smile. Across the galaxy, the Clone Wars still burned. But here, the war was quieter and far more deadly. Anakin, Palpatine said softly, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Anakin's jaw tightened. He already knew the answer, but he played his part. No, Chancellor. Palpatine's voice dropped to a whisper. A Sith Lord, so powerful he could use the Force to cheat death. He could save the ones he loved from dying. The Force trembled. Anakin felt it move through the room like a cold tide. The music seemed to fade, the dancers seemed to slow, and around the old man beside him, the air itself bent inward, heavy, hungry, wrong. This was not a story. This was a sales pitch. This was the spider, dangling silk in front of the fly. What happened to him? Anakin asked, voice steady. His apprentice killed him in his sleep. Palpatine smiled. Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself. Anakin turned his head slowly, and for the first time he truly looked at Sheev Palpatine. The kind eyes were a mask, the gentle voice was a weapon. Beneath it all sat something ancient, patient, and starving. A Sith Lord. Anakin smiled back, soft and warm. A fascinating story, Chancellor, but inside his decision was already made. Tonight, the mask was coming off. The speeder cut through Coruscant traffic like a blade. Anakin's hands gripped the controls, knuckles pale. Every second mattered. If Palpatine sensed the truth too soon, the Sith Lord would vanish into the shadows, and the galaxy would never get another chance. He landed on the temple steps and ran, robes flying, breath-sharp lightsabers slapping against his hip. Master Mace Windu was in the war room, studying battle maps. He looked up, surprised. "Skywalker, what is it?" Anakin did not waste a single word. "Master Windu, Chancellor Palpatine is a Sith Lord. He's the one we've been hunting. He is Darth Sidious." The room went still. Mace's dark eyes narrowed. He had suspected it for months, but to hear it spoken by Anakin Skywalker, of all people, changed everything. "You're certain?" "I felt him tonight," Anakin said. "At the opera, he told me the legend of Darth Plagueis. He's been planting visions in my head, Master. Visions of Padme dying. He wanted to break me. He wanted to turn me." Mace stood slowly. The weight of 1,000 wars rested on his shoulders. "And yet here you stand, warning us." "Here I stand," Anakin said, ready to end him. Mace studied him for a long moment. Then he reached for his comlink. "Master Fisto, Master Kohler, Master Teen, with me now." He turned back to Anakin, voice low and sharp as Durasteel. "You will come with us, Skywalker, not as my student, as my witness." Anakin nodded once. 4 lightsabers, 1 Sith Lord. And tonight, the war for the soul of the galaxy would be decided in a single room. The doors hissed open. Palpatine looked up from his desk, calm as ever. Then he saw the 4 lightsabers, purple, green, 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 and the figures standing behind them. Anakin. For one heartbeat, the mask cracked. Then the smile returned. "Master Windu, I take it Skywalker has told you his theory. In the name of the Galactic Senate," Mace said, "you are under arrest." Sidious moved, a red blade ignited from his sleeve. Kohler fell first, cut down before he could raise his weapon. Tin followed a heartbeat later. Fisto fought like a storm, but the Sith Lord was faster, older, hungrier. He fell too. Only Mace remained, blade flashing purple against red. Lightning ripped from Palpatine's fingers, and Anakin stepped in, deflecting it back with his own saber. "You said you wanted power," Sidious screamed. "I can still save her, Anakin." "I never wanted your power," Anakin growled. Mace's blade rose. Thur came down. The Sith Lord's head fell from his shoulders. Silence. For one perfect second, the galaxy felt lighter. Then Anakin saw the small holocom blinking on the desk, already transmitting. Palpatine's final dying act. A single command, a single phrase, burned into every clone trooper in every legion on every world. "Execute Order 66. Mace's eyes went wide. No, across the galaxy. In a single catastrophic hour, blasters turned on Jedi backs. On Felucia, Isla Secura fell. On Cato Neimoidia, Plo Koon's fighter exploded. On Kashyyyk, Yoda barely escaped into the trees. The Sith was dead. But his last order was already killing the Jedi Order, one master at a time. And Anakin Skywalker had a temple full of children to save. Coruscant burned under its betrayal. Sirens wailed through the Jedi Temple as Anakin Skywalker cut a path through white-armored clone troopers, not their champion, but their nightmare. Every stroke of his blue blade was fast, desperate, and brutal. He had helped build this darkness. Now he was trying to steal something back from it. In the temple's lower halls, Master Sin Dralig and a handful of wounded Jedi gathered the surviving younglings. Some were crying. Some stood in silence. All of them looked at Anakin with fear, hope, or both. He did not ask for trust, he only said, "Stay close, follow me." The escape route ran through maintenance tunnels toward a hidden Senate landing pad. But Order 66 had already spread across the city. Late gunships sealed the sky lanes. Shock troops flooded streets. Every step outward became a battle. Jedi Knights fell buying seconds. Temple guards slammed blast doors behind the children while Anakin held the line alone, his saber a wall of blue fire. He moved like the chosen one at last, not to conquer but to protect. He deflected blaster bolts into fuel lines, dropped gunships into courtyards, pulled collapsing bridges down on advancing clones. Yet each victory cost lives. A Padawan named Reva was hit while shielding 2 smaller children. She died without a sound. Anakin carried that moment like a blade in his chest. At the landing pad, their final transport lifted into the smoke-choked sky. Then the stars above Coruscant flashed with arrivals. A wedge-shaped command shuttle descended through the clouds, black and silent. The clones stopped firing. The surviving Jedi froze. Anakin knew that ship. He knew the evil waiting inside, and as the ramp began to lower, children heard a sound colder than battle, the mechanical breath of Darth Vader himself. The smoke over Coruscant took weeks to clear. When it did, the galaxy looked at the ruins of the Republic and asked a single question: who leads us now? The Senate was shattered. Half its members had been Palpatine's puppets. The Jedi Order was a ghost of itself, barely 200 knights left, scattered across 100 worlds. The clone armies stood silent, their chips removed, their guilt heavier than any blaster. And in the center of it all stood one man, Anakin Skywalker, the hero with no fear, the Jedi who killed the Sith, the chosen one. They came to him in the broken council chamber, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu leaning on a cane now, his sword arm gone. They offered him the seat at the head of the Order. They spoke of a new republic, rebuilt around his name. Anakin listened in silence. Then he shook his head. No. The room went still. I almost destroyed all of this, he said quietly. Palpatine did not pick me by accident. He saw the dark in me, the fear, the pride. He nearly had me, Masters. A few more nights of those dreams, and I would have been the monster you sent me to kill. He looked at Obi-Wan, his brother, his friend. The galaxy does not need a chosen one. It needs all of us. He laid his lightsaber on the table, not in surrender but in refusal. Build the Order without a throne, without a prophecy. Build it better. Then he turned and walked out into the gray Coruscant dawn, where Padme was waiting. The war was over, but Anakin Skywalker's hardest battle was only just beginning. Morning light spilled across the lakes of Naboo, turning the water gold and the reed silver. On a quiet rise above the shore, Anakin Skywalker stood with a practice staff in one hand and a cane in the other. Time had not broken him, but it had carved him down. His hair was gray at the temples, old scars lined his arms, his eyes still held fire. Yet the anger inside them had cooled into something rarer and harder. Patience. This was not the warrior who once charged into every battle. This was the man who had survived his own shadow and turned away from it at last forever with grace. Below him, two blue blades flashed through the mist. Luke moved first, fast and eager, cutting wide arcs that chased speed. Leia waited, watched, and then slipped inside his reach with a neat twist of her wrist. Their sabers locked, sparks hissed. Luke laughed. Leia did not. She pushed, stepped, and sent her brother sliding back through wet grass. Padme, seated beneath a tree with a stack of Senate briefs in her lap, smiled without looking surprised. She had seen this 100 times. Luke fought the world in front of him. Leia fought the world before it could move. Anakin tapped his cane against a stone. The sound cut through their duel at once. The twins lowered their blades and turned. Luke looked annoyed. Leia looked curious. Anakin liked that about them. One wanted to leap. One wanted to learn. Together they forced each other into balance. He walked down the slope slowly, every step honest. No mechanical limbs. No black armor, no mask, only the weight of old battles in his bones. Again, he said, but this time listen before you strike. Luke breathed out hard. Leia nodded. On Naboo, even lessons carried the echo of a war. The children had grown up in a galaxy that remembered the brink, but had never fallen over it. Palpatine died in the Senate chamber when the truth broke open, and the last loyal Jedi struck before his empire could be born. Order 66 shattered the Republic for one terrible night, yet it did not finish the job. Too many clones refused the second purge. Too many senators saw the lie. Too many worlds remembered freedom. The cost was still brutal. Thousands died. Trust died with them. But the Age of Iron never came, and the stars were spared Vader. The Jedi who survived rebuilt themselves more carefully than before. They gave up the old temple towers and chose open enclaves on living worlds. They listened more, they judged less. Masters married if they wished. Padawans learned history beside farmers, healers, pilots, and poets. Yoda called it a humbler order. Obi-Wan called it common sense at last. Anakin called it necessary. He had seen what happened when fear was dressed as duty, and love was treated like sin. So Luke and Leia were not hidden from the truth of family. They were shaped by it, and warned by it. Padme had helped hold the center while the galaxy bled. She spent the first years after the Purge moving between Chandrila, Alderaan, and Coruscant, building alliances strong enough to keep revenge from becoming policy. She was older now, calmer but no less fierce. The old spark in her voice could still silence a chamber full of generals. On Naboo, however, she became something rarer than a leader. She became present. She read with Leia beside the lake. She argued ship design with Luke in the hangar. At night, when the house fell quiet, she sat beside Anakin in silence a while. Luke rushed the next exchange and paid for it. Leia dropped low, hooked his ankle with the Force, and planted him flat on his back. Padme laughed openly this time. Luke groaned and stared at the sky. Anakin offered his hand and pulled him up. "You always attack the door," he said. "Leia attacks the hinge." Luke brushed mud from his sleeve. "I still hit harder." "Yes," Leia replied. "And walls also hit hard." Anakin smiled. Their sparring was practice and prophecy. It was a map of future tempers. Luke carried heat. Leia carried steel. Together, they frightened him sometimes. That fear did not come from their power. Power was easy to see, easy to train, easy to limit. What worried him was love. He knew how love could save a life and ruin one in the same breath. Luke loved quickly, with open hands. Leia loved carefully, with closed doors. Both paths could break if fear entered them. That was why Anakin taught them here, under open sky, where nothing in the Force felt sealed away. He told them his failures plainly. He spoke of anger, of pride, of the hunger to control loss. Vader needed no name here. Some days Obi-Wan came from Tatooine with dust on his boots and jokes ready on his tongue. He never stayed long. The Outer Rim still trusted him with missions too small for fleets and too dangerous for diplomats. Yet he found time to walk the fields with Luke and correct his grip, or sit in the garden with Leia and answer questions she was not supposed to have. At her age, Anakin watched those moments. The bond between his children and his old master healed something in him that no victory over Palpatine ever could. It felt like redemption. Other days messages arrived from away. Ahsoka sent reports from frontier worlds where former separatist sectors were finally joining the new Union. Rex, now old before his time, wrote about clone settlements on Pantora and Sasalikami, where brothers tried to become men after years as property. Yoda rarely transmitted, but when he did, his words were brief and sharp. "Beware comfort," he once said. "Peace becomes sleep if you let it." Anakin kept that line close. The galaxy was kinder than before, yet kindness had made some senators lazy. Pirates grew bold, corporate barons returned. Old poison moved under paint. Evening settled softly over the villa. Servants lit lamps along the stone path. Boats drifted on the dark lake like slow stars. Inside, dinner became the kind of noise Anakin once thought he would never deserve again. Leia debated tax policy with Padme. Luke tried to turn a fruit knife into a flying dart until his mother stopped him with one look. Theo hovered nearby, still anxious after all these years. R2 beeped from the doorway, sounding amused. For a while, the war felt very far away. Then the power flickered, the room dimmed. Every instinct in Anakin woke instantly. He was moving before the lights returned. Leia was already on her feet. Luke reached for the Force without thinking. Padme did not panic. She hit the wall panel, sealed the house, and opened the emergency channel beneath her desk. Outside, engines screamed low over the water. Not local traffic, military. Anakin felt metal mines in formation and living fear behind them. Naboo's security was scrambling, but too late. The first blasts hit the eastern dock and turned the night white. Glass shook. Birds exploded from the reeds. Somewhere across the lake, alarms began to howl. Peace ended under fire. The attackers came in stolen Republic gunships painted matte black, their markings burned away. They were not a state fleet. They were worse. They were believers left over from the failed coup, officers and contractors who had expected Palpatine to crown them above law and mercy. For years they had vanished into remote shipyards and depots. Now they came roaring back under a new banner, the final order of man. No aliens in command, no Jedi alive, no Senate debate. Only rule through fear and machine discipline. Anakin had heard rumors. Seeing their crest above Naboo made the rumors real. "Get to the shelter," Anakin told Padme. She held his gaze for one sharp second, then nodded. There was history inside that silence. There was trust and fear, and the memory of everything they had survived to reach this night. Luke stepped forward. "We fight." Leia stepped with him. Anakin wanted to refuse. He wanted to freeze them in childhood for one more hour. But that was the old temptation, the selfish one. The twins were not children now. They were trained, strong, and already choosing. So he gave them orders. "Stay together, fall back together." "No heroics," sabers answered. The villa grounds erupted into running fire. Security droids burst from hidden ports beneath the terrace, but the invaders cut them down with ion rounds and missile fire. Black armored troops rappelled from gunships onto the roof. Another squad came through the orchard in tight formation. Shields forward, rifles spitting blue pulses, meant to disable Jedi without killing them. They wanted captives. That made the danger worse. Luke met the first wave too fast. Leia pulled him aside. Anakin broke the line with staff and saber. Then the night became chaos around the burning orchard wall and terrace stones below. Anakin fought smarter now. He did not chase the loudest threat. He cut the path that kept his family breathing. When a gunship banked to strafe the shelter entrance, he hurled his cane through the cockpit glass, then caught it again with the force before it hit the ground. When heavy troopers pinned Luke behind a fountain, Leia reached into the water lines beneath the court and burst them upward in a blinding column. Luke rose through the spray and cut their rifles apart. For one breath, Anakin saw a future his younger self had never earned until this night. Then he felt the real strike. Not outside, inside. A mind in the shelter opened the inner seals from within. One of Padme's new staffers, a quiet man from Brental, drew a holdout blaster and put it at her ribs. He had served tea for 6 months. He had learned the routines, the codes, the blind turns in the corridor. He was not there to kill her. He was there to take Leia alive. The movement hit Anakin like ice. He turned too late to stop the capture cleanly. Leia sensed it, disarmed him, and smashed him into vault door. But the traitor had already sent the signal. Every enemy outside shifted at once. This attack had never been about Padme or even Naboo. It was bait. Smoke, noise. The true target was the twins. Above the house, the lead gunship climbed and opened its belly doors. A cylindrical device dropped toward the lake, humming with a cold frequency Anakin had only felt once before in Palpatine's private vaults. Not a bomb, a prison, a Sith relic built to sever Force users from one another and carry them away alive. Anakin knew the war had come for his children now. Above Naboo, the trap descended, and for the first time in years, Anakin Skywalker looked at peace and saw how easily it could be stolen.